terrible question. It was a rubbish question. I just sort of said, oh, why is it so important for you to come here? Big journalism here. And he looked at me and said, oh, well, just go and ask those people over there. And I probably inside thought, hang on a minute, leave this one. And I said, well, is that why it's so important for you to come here? And then he turned around and just said, Rhiannon, don't behave like that.
And I don't know where it all stops, all this. Where does it end? We've got the book, and then we've got the interview circuit, and so it goes on. It's all apparently a dark plot by Britain and the royals to smear the poor, defenceless, vulnerable Sussex.
Oh, honey, let me tell you what went down. Prince Harry strolled into the Dorian TV Awards thinking he was about to own the night, like the whole room was just waiting to bow. But surprise, Hollywood hit him with a reality check so cold it could freeze the Thames. No HRH, no royal treatment, no one gasping in reverence. Just shrugs and side eyes. In this town, baby, your title means nothing. Your tantrum, though, that's what gets remembered.
Prince Harry surely is now a traitor to the country that he once served.
William and I both saw what happened in our dad's office.
And you better believe he expected a moment. Harry walked in like he was waiting for the world to pause. You know, that dramatic red carpet slow-mo with flashing cameras and whispers like, His Royal Highness has arrived. But what did he actually get? Nothing but awkward glances and half-hearted nods. Just another name on the guest list, y'all. No royal trumpets, no hush across the room. People were too busy gossiping about show deals and sipping bubbly.
And how much damage do they want to cause? They can't be allowed back to any royal events because they'll probably be wired up and taped for the next series.
But let's rewind a little because the drama didn't start on the red carpet. It started way before that. Weeks before the event, Harry's team fired off this email to the Dorian Awards organizers. And girl, it wasn't about food allergies or where he'd sit. No, it was all about that title. Yep, his title. He wanted to be introduced a very specific way. Guess which way?
They can't be allowed back to any royal events because they'll probably be wired up and taped for the next series of their thrilling life story. So what do? What does King Charles do about his own son? Does he cut him off? Does he strip him of his titles? This is his son.
Insiders are spilling that the email wasn't just firm, it was borderline royal decree. Harry's PR team made it crystal clear he wanted to be announced as His Royal Highness Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Say what now? The same title he voluntarily gave up during the Megxit fallout in 2020? That's right, the one he legally doesn't even own anymore. But apparently, he still feels entitled to it.
It's a Shakespearean tragedy unfurling. And I'm afraid when it comes to health, I think Prince Harry might be beyond it.
One staffer actually called the message delusional. I mean, it literally read like it came straight from Buckingham Palace, not some celeb's PR rep trying to RSVP to an award show. The entitlement, darling.
He's been manipulated, and I think partly it's down to him as well, into believing they're genuine freedom fighters.
But let me tell you, the Dorian committee wasn't playing games. They stood their ground. They told Harry's camp, respectfully but firmly, that Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, was the absolute max. And even that was pushing it, considering how dicey royal affiliations can be in Hollywood circles. Let's not forget, this is the same industry that cancels people over a bad tweet.
Institutional gaslighting that happens is extraordinary. And that's why
what should have been a quick formality spiraled into a whole back-and-forth drama. At one point, Harry's team even hinted that ignoring his preferred title would be a sign of disrespect. Oh, okay, so now we're throwing the disrespect card? That's when the Dorian folks realized they weren't just dealing with a celebrity guest. They were dealing with a royal ego.
Extraordinary. And that's why everything that's happened to us was always going to happen to us. Because if you speak truth to power, that's how they respond.
Flash forward to the night of the event. The Dorian Awards were in full swing, glamour everywhere, champagne flowing, deals being whispered over shrimp skewers. It was giving everything. The whole vibe was electric. But then, enter Prince Harry. And baby, that energy, it took a turn.
Truth to power? What are you talking about? You're Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, once third in line to the throne. It doesn't get a lot more powerful than you.
He showed up solo. No Meghan, no PR entourage, just him, alone in a tux trying to melt into a crowd that had moved way past the royal hype. Sure, people looked, but not with awe, with confusion, like, wait, is that Harry? Where's Meghan? And then came the whisper train. Did he really demand to be called His Royal Highness? Oh yes, he did. The curiosity was high, but the admiration? Nowhere in sight.
Before you decamped for your freedom, before you gave up any royal duty, but wanted to have your royal cake and eat it by keeping your title so you could explore.
Observers couldn't help but clock the vibes. His posture, stiff, his smile, barely there, the sparkle he once had, gone. It was like he was scanning the room, desperately trying to find someone, anyone, giving him the royal nod. Spoiler, nobody was.
And make gazillions of dollars in America to the highest bidder. And what do you do for that money? You trash your family endlessly. And you're going to keep doing it, as does your wife, who trashes her.
Because let's be real, this wasn't a palace reception. This was West Hollywood. Here, nobody cares about crowns. They care about content. You either bring the heat or you don't. Fame is rented, not inherited. And tonight, Harry wasn't even a subplot. Now here's where it gets juicy. The host steps on stage, smooth as ever, and it's time. Harry's name is about to be announced. He straightens his back, ready for his royal moment, the one he fought so hard for. And then, please welcome Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. That's it. No His Royal Highness. No extra sparkle, just the legal minimum. Clean, dry, done. And honey, he froze. Smile gone, just blank, like someone had flipped the switch. The crowd, polite claps, that's all. No standing ovation, no gasps, just a lukewarm golf clap for a man who expected a royal welcome. It was brutal. He didn't move. For 5 whole seconds he sat there, jaw tight, eyes locked. The room went quiet. You could practically hear the buzz of, "Is he okay?" Phones came out, heads turned. And then, boom, he stood up, but not to accept anything. He left. No wave, no thank you, no glance back. Just a cold, tense walk out of the ballroom. Shoulders stiff, face unreadable. He didn't even flinch. It was like a scene from a soap opera. In a room full of actors, Harry gave the performance of the night, and he didn't even speak. That walkout? Iconic. But for all the wrong reasons. And just like that, Prince Harry vanished through the doors. But oh, the chaos he left behind. Baby, it was delicious. Within seconds, TikTok lit up. X, was drowning in clips of his exit. Memes were flying faster than the champagne bubbles. And let's be real, nobody roasts like the internet when a royal throws a hissy fit on camera. One post stole the whole show. Hollywood doesn't do crowns, it does credits. Mic, drop. That tweet exploded. Thousands of retweets, likes in the tens of thousands. And suddenly, Harry wasn't the people's prince anymore. He was the royal punchline. The guy who gave up the monarchy only to cry over a title at an awards show. Yikes. You might be feeling suicidal, but it's bad for the brand. You can't get help. He never stops banging on about it and about the need to get help. And yet when his own wife apparently had suicidal thoughts, he didn't get her help. It got darker. People started dragging everything. His past interviews, the Oprah sit-down, even his mental health advocacy. Comments like, "Where was Mr. Mental Health when Meghan needed him?" started popping up. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The brand he tried to build, cracking under the pressure of one dramatic walkout. Does that make any sense? Does that sound even remotely plausible to you? 'Cause it doesn't to me. Back inside, the mood? Icy. You could feel the shift. Moments earlier, people were laughing, networking, sipping wine. Now everyone was whispering, phones out, eyebrows raised. The drama had hijacked the whole night. Forget the awards. Everyone wanted to know, did he really just storm out because they didn't call him His Royal Highness? Another tissue of self-serving lies, mostly, I suspect. We don't know yet, but most of it looks like the Oprah interview. Just another load of unsubstantiated smears. Some tried to play it cool, acting like nothing happened. But others couldn't help themselves. Whispers, stares. The whole ballroom buzzed like a beehive. One A-lister, a little tipsy, raised their glass and joked, "Looks like the Dorian did what Buckingham couldn't." They told him no. Brutal. The table howled. Not everyone laughed, though, especially not the producers. For them, this wasn't just gossip. It was a PR nightmare unfolding in real time. The attacks on the press were so wicked that she was hated and feared for her life. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, chaos. The Dorian team scrambled. The host kept going like a pro. Bless her. But the tension hung heavy in the air. Texts were flying. Damage control was already underway. But let's be honest, it was already too late. So they were hated and despised and too popular. And this was all apparently a heroic fight for family privacy. The media machine doesn't sleep, especially not in LA. People were texting their publicists, stylists, agents, and you better believe that footage made its way to the press before dessert was even served. In Hollywood, silence doesn't last long. And while Harry's seat sat empty, his presence loomed larger than ever. And here's the thing. His chair may have been empty, but he was still the star. Just not the kind he hoped for. Not a dignified royal presence, but a case study of what happens when entitlement meets a room full of power players who aren't here for the theatrics. They flaunt their young family and boast about their very public social justice campaigns. Harry and Meghan take their audience for fools. And speaking of absences, everyone was asking the same thing. Where was Meghan? Her silence deafening. No show, no statement, no glam cameo to soften the blow. And in this town, silence like that screams. Her team later blamed prior commitments. But honey, this was the Dorian TV Awards, not a Tuesday brunch. This was visibility, buzz, relevance. Meghan missing this? Not normal, not strategic, suspicious. They present even the most incendiary of claims with no evidence. And sadly, the impact is real. The royal family is getting damaged. The monarchy is getting tarnished. People are believing, including Beyoncé. People started whispering, was Meghan Meghan distancing herself? Did she see the disaster coming? Was this a split PR move? Suddenly, it wasn't just a title tantrum anymore. It was a narrative shift. Executives were whispering behind gold-plated doors. Reputations were being recalculated. One major streamer hit pause on a Sussex docu-series that was quietly in the works. Another talent agency insider put it bluntly, "You can work with divas or you can work with dukes, but both in one package?" Nope. And then got in his car and drove off. I felt like I'd looked like an idiot. He looked really patronizing. That's Hollywood, baby. Image is currency. And this was messy. Not bold, not royal, just unpredictable. And in an industry built on control and narrative, that's a no-go. Anyway, it all blew up with his team. They were livid. Let's just say it wasn't just the internet roasting Harry. His own team? Fuming. What was supposed to be a polished Hollywood moment turned into a royal-level meltdown. And the craziest part? No one even said anything publicly. Harry let his silence do the screaming, and it screamed entitlement. That letter dropped. The pen, the 10-paragraph letter. Behind the scenes, it was damage control at full speed. Meghan's people were pulling late-night meetings with stylists, image consultants, PR strategists, trying to pivot her narrative fast. Word is she's focusing back on her solo brand. Because if Harry doesn't fix this mess soon, Hollywood isn't just closing doors, they're pretending he never knocked. Realized I frankly kicked the bear and I just didn't realize it at the time. And let's be real, that walkout over a dropped title, that didn't read empowered, it read petty. Suddenly, all those media outlets that once rallied behind Harry, they switched sides. Page 6 didn't hold back. A royal embarrassment, they called it. The Guardian? They threw shade too, asking if Harry's addicted to the very system he claims to be escaping. Social media? Relentless. One post summed it up. Imagine leaving the monarchy just to beg for a title in Hollywood. Clown behavior. Ouch. And that in a way is why I'm hoping that we will see more of him. We will see him doing what he has always done best. He is brilliant with children. Even his longtime supporters, quiet. That silence, telling. Polls that dropped right after the event showed a clear dip in public favorability. People weren't mad. They were disappointed. They wanted growth. They wanted something new. What they got? Same old drama? Same royal hang-ups? I remember on that trip, we were on the plane coming across and I just broke the story that he was quitting the army, which he probably never should have done. And now, that fresh chapter Harry promised, it's teetering. People are starting to ask the real questions. After torching his ties to the royal family and now fumbling his chance at a clean slate in Hollywood, what's next? He's standing at a crossroads, reinvention or ruin. Because here's the bottom line, Hollywood doesn't hand out crowns. It deals in power, relevance, consistency, and sometimes a little drama. But it has no patience for entitlement masked as importance. And after that night at the Dorians, the message was loud and clear. If you want to play royalty here, you better earn your title.